Hey Merfolk fans, I'm Joe. Thanks for joining me today. I'm here with a replay of round 2 of a competitive Modern League. Looks like I won the die roll. This is a keep. It's really aggressive with early Cursecatchers and just following up with Lords. Spreading Seas if we draw another land. Easy keep for me on the play. Or on the draw, honestly. It's even better on the draw. Opponent kept as well, so I'm going to run out my island and my AEther Vial. Okay, opponent plays his Cursecatcher. I said hello to this guy at this point, but he didn't really respond. Another Spreading Seas against Merfolk. Probably not what I wanted to draw there. But I do get to run out my Cursecatchers, so not feeling too bad yet. Smuggler's Copter is slow against my Island Walk Lords. Now if he gets in with Cursecatcher, I probably will just take it because I want my bodies to beat down with. So let's see. It's interesting because well, I guess the opponent values the Cursecatcher more than potential trade. So run out my own Cursecatcher, take the AEther Vial up to 2, and I'll be able to start getting my beatdown on. So no land, but it's another Reejerey. If I draw something like a Cursecatcher next turn, I can take the AEther Vial up, we'll go Reejerey, Cursecatcher, untap, AEther Vial, play another Reejerey. So easy line here, just activate AEther Vial, drop the good Island Walk Lord. He's not going to buff my opponent's creatures and get in. I really like the opponent's islands. This is in Venice. I actually went there this past summer for my honeymoon, so I know this this little island very well. It's actually a real place. Okay, opponent's going to play Silvergill Adept here, trying to draw into some good stuff. I've got these Cursecatchers here protecting my Island Walk Lord. I'm realizing more and more in the mirror match how effective Cursecatchers are. You know, our mana is usually pretty tight, and if they have an Island Walk Lord and we only have like 3 lands and we play a creature and we're just left with 1 land, we can't dismember their Island Walk Lord because they've got the Cursecatcher. So I'm sorry, I'm going to click through this Silvergill Adept, and the opponent can't really get in with the Cursecatcher, but they can crew up the Smuggler's Copter and get in for a loot. Alright, so they attack, and they pitch another land. I might actually have to pick up these lands. Man, these islands are beautiful. They're kind of expensive in real life. And I just prefer, I have these altered, unglued islands. But on Magic Online, this Venice island might be the prettiest one I've seen so far. Okie dokie, so we're going to take AEther Vial up here and hopefully draw a Cursecatcher to just vomit our hand. We don't get there, but we do get to put Reejerey onto the board. If the opponent has removal, we've got Cursecatcher backing us up. I'm going to swing in for 9, threatening sort of overkill next turn, especially with our second Reejerey coming out. Might as well play out the second AEther Vial. This game is not going to last long enough for that AEther Vial to really come into play. Opponent drops their 4th land. Looks like they're flooding out this game. Here's a Reejerey. See if they can do anything with that thing. Crew up the Smuggler's Copter, go to the beginning of combat, and the opponent just scooped at that point. There was really nothing that they could draw. They had already played out their land for the turn. If they drew a Dismember or something like that, it would affect their life total. If they drew a Vapor Snag, I was just going to counter it anyway. I could potentially only have 6 Island Walk, which could let them live a turn if they do cast a Vapor Snag on my Island Walk Lord and I counter it. But I do have another Lord anyway, so I'd actually be attacking for 8 Island Walks. So the opponent just scooped it up at that point. Look away, please, if you don't want to see the match result. I'm going to click out of this window right now. Alright, so I was on the play that game, I think, and the opponent's going to be on the play this game. It's a really big deal being on the play in the mirror match, so you guys probably know really well. This is a keep. This is the bad Lord. But we've got removal, we've got card draw, we've got bodies. Can't really throw this away. If we draw another couple of non-basic blue sources, we could potentially keep the opponent off Island Walk as well. So the opponent is opening with Mutavault into AEther Vial. Hopefully that means that their mana is pretty poor this game. So I played a Wanderwine Hub and revealed my Silvergill Adept so I could have Dismember up. Now the opponent's going to have AEther Vial on 1, so I'm not even sure if I would cast Dismember into Cursecatcher. Okay, opponent's got a Silvergill Adept of their own. I'm not going to Dismember that guy. Let's check what they revealed on their Silvergill. So they have a Bad Lord as well. Drew into a Smuggler's Copter, which as we saw the opponent play on turn 2 can be pretty slow, but we play it for a reason. I'm probably going to want to draw more lands, and Smuggler's Copter could potentially help me do that as long as the opponent isn't too explosive. So I'm going to play my island, which pains me because I have plenty of non-basic islands in the deck specifically for this matchup. Opponent's going to bring in their Cursecatcher, and I'll pass the turn to them. Looks like they're going beatdowns here. It's probably the correct way to go. So turn 3 for the opponent. They're going to be cracking in for 8 damage. Unblockable. I'm going to go down to 12. Drew another land, which is pretty nice. I guess my outs here are limited. I needed to play a body to even be able to equip Smuggler's Copter or block anything. Unfortunately, well, I'm going to go ahead with the Silvergill draw. This would be great if I had an AEther Vial, but I didn't this game. So the line here is, let them attack and dismember the Island Walk Lord, and then try to eat one of their creatures and stay alive. But as I mentioned, being on the play is a huge advantage. For the opponent, they've got a Cursecatcher out, so Dismember is already offline. And, it does 4 damage to me anyway, so I might just die to my own Dismember in this case. So opponent takes up AEther Vial to 3. I'm expecting a Reejerey here. Could be a Kira, but there's the Reejerey. So much power. Here's a Cursecatcher. Reejerey lets him untap his island, which will in turn let him activate his Mutavault if he wants to this turn. Alright, so there's a second Cursecatcher, making Dismember that much harder to resolve. Here's a Mutavault, and the opponent's going to be attacking for quite a lot of damage. If I was him, I might get in with this Island Walk Lord anyway, but he chose not to. He's swinging instead for 11, which is not lethal, so I guess I could have, in theory, just taken this and gotten another turn, but I really don't have outs. I have an Echoing Truth in the deck that could bounce his Lord, but I don't have a board presence that can compete with this at 1 life. So I guess I'm going to go for the Dismember and hope that my opponent kind of blunders and forgets about Cursecatcher, but they don't, and so at that point, I scooped it up, I think. So, game 1 to me, game 2 to my Merfolk friend, and I'm going to click out of this window now. If you don't want to see the match results, look away for a second, please. I'm going to click now. Okay, I'm back with the third and final game against the Merfolk Mirror. Round 2 of this competitive Modern League. I'm going to be on the play, which I'm very happy about. I don't like seeing all these islands, but we've got turn 1 Catcher, turn 2 Copter. Copter is going to let us get our loot on, and we've got Dismember for their Lord, so have to keep this. Have to keep it. Opponent mulligan to 6. Let's see what they did with their Scry. Okay, they put it on top. So a Scry to 6, sorry, a Mull to 6 on the draw with a Scry to the top is not the worst. At least he likes what he's working with on the top of the deck. So we're going to open up with our Cursecatcher. Hope the opponent doesn't have AEther Vial here. Alright, Cursecatcher is better than AEther Vial because AEther Vial can actually turn the tables on who's advantaged in the play versus draw dynamic. I didn't play an AEther Vial, so if the opponent played an AEther Vial, they could gain a tempo advantage over me. Master of Waves could be good. It's a little slow in the matchup. I definitely have to run out Copter here, and I'm not going to attack just because I definitely want to have a body to attack to equip Copter with, and it slows the opponent's attacks down if they don't have an Island Walk Lord here. Oh, but they do have an Island Walk Lord, so they're going to be able to start getting in. I'll be able to dismember that guy next turn, though. So hopefully on their mulligan, they don't have too many of these guys in their hand. We can't block this guy. He's got Island Walk. So we're going to go for Dismember Cursecatcher here, I guess. Okay. But we can wait until after combat to play out any other spells because we get to loot with the Copter. I'm already down at 14, having taken 2 from Island Walk and 4 from my Dismember. So we have to watch our life total, but we definitely have to deal with the opponent's Master of the Pearl Tridents. So I had to think a little bit about this situation because a 4th land is great to be able to play Master of Waves. I haven't played my land yet this turn, so I'm going to be on 4 lands next turn. Although I think in the end I did pitch one of the lands. We've got a lot more lands in the deck, and next turn we'll be able to either play Kira or Cursecatcher and somebody else if we draw another 2-drop Merfolk. So play out the land, play out a Cursecatcher, and hope that the opponent doesn't have a follow-up Master of the Pearl Trident. Guys pretty much are nemesis in the mirror match. So here's a Reejerey. It does get to crack in again. It's chipping away at my life total. Alright, well, so there's a Mutavault. I think we get to jam Master of Waves here. We've got 2 Cursecatchers backing us up if he tries to remove the Master of Waves. And being behind in the life totals, I like the option of expanding my board presence. The opponent was on a mulligan. He's got 2 lords, bunch of lands. If he has the removal also, then it's pretty much the nut mulligan to 6. I'm going to go ahead and equip with Cursecatcher because I'm not going to attack or block with this guy this turn, whereas I might choose to block with one of these elementals. Let's get in with the Copter, see what it loots for me. Harbinger is a sweet, sweet draw. We've even got 4 mana to cast him at instant speed, so I am going to pitch the Kira at this point. I would love to be able to protect my creatures, but our mana only lets us do so much. Okay. Opponent's going for Spreading Seas, which I was super happy to see. Yes, Mutavault is a nice attacking body, but casting Spreading Seas means he doesn't get a Reejerey trigger to untap anything. So he does get to draw a card off the seas, though. Doesn't look like he hit what he needed to. It's just passing the turn. Okay, so we hit an Island Walk Lord. It's not the good Island Walk Lord, so you have to be very, very careful. For example, if I play out this Island Walk Lord now, I could swing in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 6, 13. Crew with the Lord. And let's see. Let's go through this actually. Yeah, so it's 7 here with Island Walk. And then 6 more is 13. It's not quite lethal, but we can use the Island Walk Lord to crew the Smuggler's Copter. So in the end, we would be coming for a total of 16. So the opponent would have to block 2 of our elementals, assuming that they don't have the removal in hand. If they only blocked 1, they'd be taking 7 Island Walk plus 4 plus 3 is 7 more for exactly lethal. So it does seem like a really powerful attack. However, if the opponent has something like a Vapor Snag in combat, I'd have to sacrifice a Cursecatcher. Then the opponent would still have to make some blocks. Let's see. At that point, I'd be attacking for 5 Island Walk. 3 in the air is 8. Plus 6 is exactly 14. Right, because we took 2 out of the situation. So he'd just have to block 1 of the elementals, and he could do it with Cursecatcher. Then, if you follow next turn, he would have Mutavault and Reejerey to attack with Island Walk, since my Lord of Atlantis would be making them bigger. If he had another Island Walk in his Lord in his hand and played it, he'd be swinging for 4 and 4, still not lethal. So playing out Lord of Atlantis seems like actually a really strong play here, but it also seemed really strong to me to leave back Harbinger of the Tides and just sort of surprise bounce if the opponent decides to attack with anything. So in hindsight, I think maybe the Lord of Atlantis is actually the better play, since it forces the opponent to block, and they would have nowhere near lethal in all likelihood with the Island Walk next turn. But just safer to attack for a little bit this turn, and then jam the Alpha Strike with the Lord of Atlantis. So playing conservatively here, I'm going to again crew up the Copter with the Cursecatcher, because I'm not going to attack or block with him. And I'm just going to get in with 2 of the Elementals and a Copter. This is for 7. If the opponent takes it, it's going to be sort of easy overkill with the Alpha Strike. So we drew another Island Walk Lord. It's another bad Island Walk Lord, so we can just pitch that guy. Pass the turn, leaving up 4 mana for Harbinger. Okay, opponent's going to start with Cursecatcher. Untapping their island. Following up with a Harbinger. Okay, so he's going to tap and bounce my Master of Waves. Now, if you guys have done the math really quick, it's not going to be enough for them because Cursecatchers are going to be 4 with Island Walk. And then we've got the Copter in the air, so... And we're going to have another body with Harbinger, even though, let's see if the opponent gets in for some damage. No, they're feeling vulnerable here, so I guess I'm going to just bring out Harbinger. We've got Cursecatchers for any Dismembers the opponent might play. Again, Dismember will hit the opponent's life total too, so Dismember not the best option for the opponent here. Looks like I drew another Master of Waves. Oh, the Master of Waves came to my hand. We drew another Harbinger for this turn, so easy decision. Play the Island Walk Lord, crew up the Copter, and get in with everybody. Even if we sacrifice a Cursecatcher, we've still got 5 with Island Walk and 3 more in the air. So, you know, the mirror match usually actually ends up being pretty interesting, even though on paper it seems pretty stupid. Sometimes I can keep the opponent off of Island Walk, running my 4 Wanderwine Hubs. Those games are usually the easiest to win. The play-draw dynamic plays into the matchup like probably more than it should. I was on the play in this match and I won, which I think you'd expect. Actually, it's fairly predictable. And Harbinger of the Tides actually is an all-star in this matchup. If I had to choose sort of what cards I saw over the course of a game in the mirror match, I'd say just a whole bunch of Master of the Pearl Trident and a whole bunch of Harbinger of the Tides, especially if the opponent doesn't have AEther Vial. I saw when the opponent bounced my Master of Waves, there's very little chance I was going to play that guy back out again. I mean, I could have if I needed to. I had the mana, obviously, but it can just be such a big tempo swing. Harbinger is sort of extra dangerous with AEther Vial because he can bounce guys in the middle of combat, even if you don't have the 4 mana for flash. So anyhow, that's about it. Smuggler's Copter, again, doing work in the first 2 matches of this competitive Modern League. Let me know your guys' thoughts. Leave any comments, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next video where I will be featuring the 3rd round of this league. Thanks, guys. See you soon. Bye.